culturally, it's
or even
it's
if you
promoted
prefer to date
the black community.
Did you say, Brent?
I said culture is even promoted to get a foreign, to drive a foreign, to get a foreign. All the rap music, what are they advertising? Foreign brands, Italian brands.
Yeah.
It's all ingrained culturally in Black America.
That's true. That's true.
I don't consider myself pro-Black. I'm going to support Black people. In Germany, there's a rarity of that.
Right.
But I see the culture as far as, niggas want to, they want to come over here and get a foreign. They want to hype up a German girl because she got an accent. It's the coolness. It's the factor of that's what's being portrayed in the music. That's what's being relayed. Fashion, consumerism. How so many black dollars being spent on these ridiculous brands, Louis Vuitton. None of these are black brands. These are all luxury brands. And guess what? It's free advertisement.
Yeah.
They're not getting free rollies. They're not getting free Pateks. None of this shit is free. It's like it's tomfoolery. You know what I mean? That's just my little brief spiel on that. But I'm all for being pro-black. It's just it's counterproductive when the culture is projecting and they're advertising, they're hyping up, not being pro-black.
I agree with that as well.
I mean, then what do we? So then, how do we change that?
I mean, you can only be as pro-black as you can be. I mean, because there's not availability as far as there's not going to be every necessity that you do have, the quality of that, and like you were saying, security aspects. You want to do what you can to support Black businesses, but at the same time, you don't want to set yourself as a liability or be spending more for a lesser product just because it's Black owned, Black produced.
Right.
In essence, all of our style, our whole fashion, our hats, our jeans, it's all Bangladesh. That's all China made.
China.
Even the
100%.
American flags are made in China.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like, how pro-Black can you really be in this day and age in America?
That part.
That's what I feel like we limit ourselves, though, right?
How pro-Black can you truly be?
If the only way we can be pro-Black is through spending our money, I think we're limiting ourselves. What happened to the days of us being the top inventors?
Mm-hmm.
Like inventing a way that makes it more efficient for us to bring a better quality idea, or coming up or innovating with, better processes or things like that. I was watching, I don't know if you guys seen that show yet with Chris Rock with Fargo. If you haven't seen it, you gotta check it. It's pretty dope.
It's good. It is good.
So on one of the scenes or whatever, they went into the bank and they basically were trying to pitch the idea of a credit card. Right? Yeah. Which I feel like that these are the amazing things that we used to, use our intellect to come up with ideas like that are just like groundbreaking. Even when it comes down to, traffic lights and things like,
everything. But we win. Blacks are fucking some of the most creative being on the planet.
Right.
Now, don't get me wrong. It wasn't all of us the reason why, it stopped happening. I think part of it was having ideas stolen from us, having, innovations destroyed and things like that made the challenge. People start, same as the normal rhetoric, hurting the communities and killing our leaders and things like that. I do think the black state is very weary. You know what I'm saying? It's tired, of constantly having to be the better man and advancing the whole culture and all this. It's a lot of pressure to be a Black person in general. But I do think if we make it the mindset that the best way to be pro-Black is to spend on Black stuff, I think we're killing ourselves even further.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I don't think that is the only way, which is why I spoke about like the different things that people can do. And when I was talking about like, the 3 hairdressers potentially competing. And so therefore somebody might, become like the distributor and the booking agent and things like that. That's that creativity that I was talking about. I don't think that we have enough of that. And I don't think that enough of that is pushed on us. Like STEM like you said, STEM is actually super important, and I think that we should really push, the people that we know who might be undecided going into college, and any of the high school kids that we come across, or middle school kids, or anything like that, even our own children, push them into that, because we need those people to do what our forefathers did there for us. You know what I mean? Like we were such innovators and creators, that our culture, the culture that we built in America under the system of racism and oppression, has become the forefront culture of the world. And so when you think about what that is and what that has become, you understand the power that and I'm not saying that people in Africa don't have, similar capabilities, but the people in America, the Black people in America, the power that we have to affect change on a global basis, we need to see that, and we need to understand that, and we need to do everything that we can to capitalize on the innovation that got us to where people want to come in and pick pieces of our culture out and put it in for themselves. You know what I mean? Before we got on here, like I told you, Royce sent me like 3 videos, and it was all based off of hip hop. You know what I mean? And like we guessed it. I missed one. You know what I mean? It was a West Coast song, whatever. You know what I mean? But I got the Jay joints though. I definitely got the Jay-Z joints. But like, just the fact that other cultures who have nothing to do with Black American cultures feel as though they can come in and pick from all our culture and to add to their culture just shows the power that we have in our hands, and it shows the innovation that we can do, and we need to push ourselves to innovate at the rate that the other people did, or not the other people, excuse me, our ancestors did, so that we can continue to create something, so that we can have a credit union on every corner, and then the grocery store can be Black owned, and then where we get our cars detailed at, that can be Black, and then the car dealership is ran by a Black person. You know what I mean? Like, and part of that is media, part of that is programming, part of that
It's
is
unity. That's
just
a lack of unity, bro. That's all it is. So like,
Yes.
even to bring point of reference to something I just recently watched on Netflix. There's a show called just came out, Queen's Gambit, right? Fast forward through the season, you understand that they bring up this cool point where the best chess player in the world is Russian. Actually, the top 3 out of the 5 are all Russian. And when they work together to build their strengths. They walk each other through, you fucked up here, you need to do this, and so on. And they highlight that as Americans, they were all independent. Each person was their own island, and that's why they had never made it that far. But to kind of spoiler alert on the program, the American ends up beating the Russian due to the unity between the other Americans. It's kind of the summary of the whole thing at the end is that unity. And I had brought it up earlier where I was like, if we were all Punjabi, we would have no problem putting our money together to start a goddamn gas station. And how Candice had said earlier, the Asian man who owned the hair spot only rocked with other Asian people for whatever reason. And I think that it goes back in further in the conversation of me saying I describe myself as a Black American, and in that order. So yes, I am Black first, but I am still very American. And within American culture, whether it's consciously or subconsciously, we do look at ourselves as islands. I may rock on a group message like this, and we may talk in circles and have these lovely ass debates or whatever. But at the end of the day, I'm guessing, and I would love if we did, but if our next episode was us on how to come together and actually jump some shit off, that would be tight. But for whatever reason, I think that it would be difficult for the Black man or a Black group to put their money together. You can say, yeah, we need a car wash and a dealership and all that jazz, but I feel like we get scared, and we all know scared money doesn't make money. For whatever reason, these other cultures don't have a problem with the unity of creating fucking cleaners next to a goddamn Yoshinoya, next to a fucking nail salon. And they put their money together. Because
Go ahead.
No, you go.
No, I was just gonna say, like, that's part of the division that they gave us, even
Creative.
like the light skin, dark skin thing. You know what I mean? Just the fact that we aren't trusting of ourselves, or we aren't trusting of our brothers and things like that. And so that, I think that that's one part of it. The second part of it is, even as we put our money together, like the support that we would potentially garner or not garner is something, there's something to be said for that, because oftentimes you start something, and instead of people actually supporting you, they want it free because they know you. You know what I mean? Instead of them.
That's one. But then also it comes down to the knowledge of it too, though, right? Like me and you were
100%.
talking earlier today, right, Phil, that, talking about nonprofits, right? And just talking about, business entities in general, LLCs and things like that, right? A lot of people don't know that stuff.
Right.
And in the Black community, if I don't know it, if I don't know you, I ain't fucking with it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like the messed up part is I'm aware of the drug game. I'm aware of sports. I'm aware of, the music. I'm aware of, you a Lash Tech? Okay, tell me how that go. And you know what I'm saying? So it takes the familiarity of new things so that they can get more comfortable with it. How many people is like, okay, everybody that's in this chat right now, we all gonna band together. We gonna put, we're going to put a couple G's together so that we can start a business together. How many people want to start? Like, well, hold up. I got a question.
Yeah.
I need to know everything. I need to know how we sending it. I need to know when I'm going to get my kickback.
Yep.
When you don't know what's going on and what the details or stuff, it's like,
it becomes difficult.
I don't trust nothing. You know what I'm saying?
And to your point, AJ, earlier you had said they see that and they say that works. And it's a lack of knowledge. And at the end of the day, the human being doesn't know what they don't know. So you can't even Google some shit if you don't know what to Google. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I don't even know what questions to ask,
Right. Yeah.
I agree with that. I think that's why I love this whole situation, because man, how frequently is Black men talking about something other than sports and music?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or how frequently
are
Black women talking about something more than, love and hip hop and some drama or whatever.
Bullshit.
You know what I'm saying? How we need to be talking and having conversations of substance so that we can build that trust to build. Oh no, I recognize, okay, Brent, he knows the music game. Okay, Phil, he knows the tech game. All right, he's business savvy. If we start understanding each other's talents,
right.
You know what I mean? That way we can start building from there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think communication is the first part of moving forward.
I definitely agree. Babe, you can hear what you got to say.
I hear a lot of this idea of being pro-Black as a competitive analogy almost. Like, if you're not pro-Black, you don't win, or I win if I am. It's not a competition. What are you supporting? What is your again, your essence about? If you have, okay, for instance, Shea Moisture is supposed to be a Black owned product. Tariq Nasheed is married to a Black woman, and he advocated for them taking Shea Moisture away from just the Black experience and allowing white people to be part of their commercials. White people don't have to deal with the way, excuse me one second. You guys can go, hold on.
Oh. Well, dang, babe.
I don't know exactly. Another great point, right? Another great point is often in our communities, it's only our money going back and forth between each other or going outside of the community, where I was having a conversation with somebody and we were talking about Black Wall Street, right? Was it Greenwood, Oklahoma?
Yeah.
And we were talking about, about how it was so easy for them to burn down that community and pillage and take from them and all this. But if Tulsa had more stake within that community, it would be a lot more difficult to just easily destroy it, because they have the economic resources that they need, whether it was the mechanics, the businesses, the distribution, or whatever, right? it would make it just that more difficult to just go ahead and just destroy it. So I feel like as a Black community, we need to pull in white money into the community.
And,
and
that's why I wanted to ask y'all the question: what is the goal here? Because it sounds like it's either the goal being to create a Black America, or the goal can be to create a new America. And I feel like if we just do Black business only, and you know, we only try to develop and try to make up these townships and everything, which is
That
Black
shit don't work.
it's going to be so easy for them to just destroy us. So if you look at what happened to BET, 20 years ago, BET was dope as shit. Comedy was on point. You know what I'm saying? They had Black commercials. You saw Black people everywhere. But if you turn on any other channel, you didn't see niggas nowhere. Not even in the commercials. Not as like a news person. You didn't see niggas anywhere. It was all white people. But look at today's society now. You see niggas on all channels. So it's hard. It's easy for white people, easy for Asian people, easy for whatever other race to turn us off when we only are pushing for one avenue. We only pushing one township or one TV channel or whatever. But it's so hard for them to turn a blind eye to us if we're invested in their shit. So if I'm talking about if I'm pushing a financial advisor to go into Wells Fargo, and he has the drive in him to want to rise the ranks and eventually become CFO or whatever, and he's a Black dude, he's going to bring in more Black people, and eventually that company might be 30%, 35% Black, and willing to take the risk and go on to Black communities and stuff like that, versus that same guy trying to start up his own little chain and failing, where he just learn what he can from that big company, take over that big company in a way to then bring up his own brothers and sisters. It's so hard for them to cut him off because he's so intertwined in their system that they can't just nix him. Versus if he just did it in his own community, all it takes is somebody bigger to say, "Oh no, you can't do that. We shutting you down." Or the governor say, "Oh no, you can't do that." Or God forbid they do a whole Black Wall Street thing again and burn this motherfucker down. Because it's so easy to do that when we're all grouped into one. So we need to be pushing multiple avenues. Yes, keep doing, the try to build up Black people and build up Black community stuff, but also don't turn off those brothers and sisters trying to make their way up through the non-Black ranks to then, reach the level that they can even pull up more brothers and sisters. That's all I'm getting at. It's like, I don't want to get, I don't think it's.
Yeah, don't segregate yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Don't shoot yourself in the foot to just focus only on building a Black America. Just make a new America. Make it the norm. Where you see, you look at the Fortune 500 countries, you see all types of races across the top, but you see a Black dude. That's what we care about. That's what we look for. We see a Black dude on the council, on the board. You know what I mean? Like let's not shut him out because he chose to go to Wells Fargo or chose to go to Chase Bank. Let's not shut him off because of that. Let's use him.
Yeah, I agree with that part. I agree with. I honestly, I couldn't understand anybody who says they're pro-Black and all of a sudden they don't support a Black person because they are working for like you said, Wells Fargo.
White company.
Like that's not pro-Black. If anything, it shouldn't be that cancel culture of because that person isn't owning a Black business, I'm not going to support them. I'm not going to collaborate with them. You should still be, if anything, educating them like, hey, this is how you can help in your position. This is how you can help our community by helping me because I own this or I'm in charge of here. Or, you know what I mean? I feel like that's counterproductive if that is a thing at all. But to
I say right now, do all the time.
So what I was saying was let's say I have a Black-owned business. Often our audience is now, or my customers are Blacks.
Black people.
I feel as if
you limited yourself.
Black-owned business, I should not have white. I should have white. I should have.
I want everybody.
I should be pulling those dollars into my community
instead
of money from my community.
Does that Black-owned business need to be in your community specifically or solely? Can you not branch
nowadays?
No, it can be anywhere.
Now, what I will say is the money that company brings in should go
Should
into
go to
the
your
local
community.
Black
Yeah.
community.
I
Now,
agree with
yes, I'm taking money from, you know, the Asian community, white community, you know, we're doing business with them to where we're bringing money in, and then that money is helping building the schools. It's helping build small businesses within the community. It's helping to build up the education and community centers and things like that. But I feel as if that is where the mindset should be, and not just constantly taken away from Black community. You know, we're constantly looking at, well, you know, you need to spend more money, even though I'm giving you lower quality. Like, I hear that, but
No.
what you really need to do is be marketing to more than just our demographics.
I think that the marketing should definitely go outside our demographics, and I think that the point is to build a better society for us. Like you said, Royce, I think that the real point is to build a better ecosystem for all of us to live. How we do that as Black people is to fight for our rights to bring ourselves up, because oftentimes we don't get those opportunities too. Geez, you said so much. Like, and so I agree with that in terms of like, we shouldn't just be marketing to one type of people, because everybody's money is money. It doesn't matter where it comes from. That's money. That is, you know, a monetary asset to us. And as long as you are funneling it back into the type of system that would help us as a people gain equality, because I think that that's a lot of times what people miss, and a lot of times why white people who are in positions of power don't want to give Black people in positions of power, is because they automatically think that because we're doing this for our people, that we are trying to overtake them, which is not necessarily true. We're not trying to be Black supremacists or anything like that. What we're trying to do is gain the type of equality necessary to where the same chance that they got to become a Fortune 500 company owner, we have that same opportunity without the type of microaggressions and racial connotations that come with a Black person trying to build that. And then also, I think that support is absolutely necessary. Like you were saying, AJ, in terms of like Black people just wanting you to support their business just because they're Black and you're Black. That's what I was saying as far as like the store goes. Like, okay, like they don't have the quality of the stuff. They don't have the quality of the stuff that you used to, or that you demand for your products. It doesn't matter if they're Black, white, Asian, Mexican, Filipino, Australian. If the quality isn't there, it shouldn't be bought. Like my mom there was only one Black gas station in Black-owned gas station in Erie. And my mom used to go to it all the time to get her gas. And one day they were excessively rude to her. You know what I mean? The gas was still good, but they were excessively rude. And she was like, okay, she's going to give them another chance. So she gave them another chance, and when she went back, they were excessively rude to her again. I told her, stop going. You know what I mean? Like, because at a certain point, the type of support that we think that we should have does not have to come at the cost of our dignity or our respect or the quality of your product. You know what I mean? Like, if you are selling something that deserves to be bought, then I'm not gonna say it doesn't matter who it is, because I would prefer to buy from the Black person in the instance of getting Black people on the same plane as white people who are selling the same products. But quality is quality, you know what I mean? And as long as there is quality to be had, then I think that we can start somewhere, you know what I mean? In terms of pulling together our resources and things like that, to create businesses and things like that, that would be beneficial no matter the community. I think that you can put it in the Black community. I think that you could put it outside of the Black community, as long as, even though you're outside the Black community, you're still recycling that money through the Black community. If you're not doing that, then you are doing you and your people a disservice, because now you've went and you're giving money and services and things like that to people who already have them and don't need it as much as we do. You know what I mean? And so I would be perturbed if I saw something like that, because I just think that we don't need to be putting our money anywhere else besides ourselves. American society has taught us that we don't. American society has taught us that we're the only people who don't need to support ourselves, or we're the only people who need to mistrust ourselves. You know what I mean? Like Cece was saying about the Asian dude, and like there are Mexican what are they called? Mexican gardeners who only hire Mexican people to work for them. But then if you see a Black-owned business supporting only Black people, and I'm not saying that they shouldn't support more, but in the beginning, or in the starting stages, they only support Black people. Even we will say that is incorrect, but everybody else gets to do it and we don't. So we have to serve the greater good of everybody, and Black people never get to serve the greater good of ourselves. I think that that's a misconception that we have, and I think that that's something that we need to break, because if we do not break that, then ultimately, even though we might be trying to serve ourselves, they can get us to believe that we don't need to, and therefore our money can be funneled and pushed elsewhere. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think that ultimately we need to understand that American society needs to be fair for all, 100%. And the way that we do that for Black people is supporting ourselves first. We can get to everybody else because everybody else is already dipping their fingers in our frosting and eating it anyway. They already have our culture. They're taking everything that they want from our culture and is using it to augment their culture and make it more, I don't even know what you want to call it. It's not necessarily relevant, but just make it more spicy or just more flavorful. But us in our culture, we don't get to do that. We can't dip into other people. Well, we can, but they highly discourage us from doing it. And then when we try to do it, they have systems in place that don't allow us to. You know what I mean? And so I think that for us to get to a place to where being pro-Black really is, and I think what Cece was saying is in terms of it being a race, it's not, because me and her talked about this, it's not a race. It's not about being pro-Black. Like, I have a Black woman, you have a white woman. Do we think the same about furthering Black people on a general level? Yes. Do we think the same about how to do it? No. That's okay though.
That's fine.
You know what I mean? We can think differently about how to do it, as long as I know that you and me have the same mind and the same goal, which is furthering Black people and getting us to the point to where we're all equal. How we go about that, that's what this is for. You know what I mean? Like, that's what this is all about. As long as we can get to the point to where we're speaking about how to further this type of stuff. And I think that that's why this pro-Black forum was necessary, is so that we can lay bare what we think about it. But then your question is, so what do we do with that? We move forward. Okay, I might have a different thought process about something to somebody else. Like, we might believe different things about God, or we might believe different things about something else, or relationships or whatever. But guess what? We all Black. Everybody on here is Black. And we all want our people to be up, not down. We want our people to be equal, not oppressed. We want our people to be seen as similar, not seen as a different race and therefore inferior. And if we all can agree on that, then now we got something. And now we can move forward. You know what I mean? So I think that that's what the main idea of this is, and where I was thinking about taking this conversation. It might have went left. It's okay. It ain't no big deal. It ain't like I don't love you, nigga. You know what I mean? Like, you still my brother. You know what I mean? Like, we could argue all day. We was just arguing about MJ versus LeBron before we got on here. But guess what? It doesn't matter, because I know that we are thinking about the same things. How we gonna do it? I don't know. That's why we got AJ the economist on here, and Trevell the philanthropist on here, and Brent the stylish debonair. You know, like we got everybody, and CC and Blake the super intellectual, and you know, like everybody. We need this type of stuff, and we don't have it enough. We talk about fruitless things on a daily basis that do nothing to move our people in the direction we need to be going. And then not only that, but they try and feed us things that distract us from thinking about where we need to be going as a people. And I want to get away from that, you know? So that's what I think about the whole thing.
No objections, man. You say that very well.